It's a right royal rutting fest. Shy sika get bold and brassy. We have some fabulous footage of this feisty deer. And Roy's buck dilemma. When is the right time to take him? Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Not all relationships last, and this one was surely doomed to failure, especially when you're this colour. Incredibly, Roy has known this fallow buck since 2008, first filming him as a 2-year-old, making him 10 now. Here he is in 2012 when Roy was recovering from surgery. And here he is again last year.
Again on the rut this morning, and it is stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful frosty morning. It's about 2 degrees at the moment, and it is exactly what the doctor ordered. We've just heard a grunt on there, so I'm hoping it's a reasonable sized buck. I'm really hoping it might be our old boy, so we can have a look at him and get an assessment of him, just see how he's looking.
If he presents a shot on this beautiful October morning, is it time to take him or just doff the cap once again, even if the headgear is slightly mangled?
Unfortunately, my hound's got my very lovely Stetson. It's a Stetson crushable water repellent. If anybody can help and send me a new one, I would love it. They are my favourite hats. They're superb.
How big is your head?
Very large. Goes with the rest of me.
As we enter the wood, the grunting is clear. Roy feels we need to crawl to have any chance of a closer look. Then to the right we see a buck through the trees. He must have winded us, but he has more pressing things on his mind. Roy clocks him and thinks he might have lost form.
That looked like one of my boys. He didn't look that great. It looks like he's coming back. He was trying to get back in.
As the white buck goes in, it displaces a younger animal. Roy knows this one from last year. He keeps coming. Roy decides it's time to try and call his buck off the stand using the antlers. At this point we are unclear what Roy is thinking, so we just keep filming. The white buck drops back and turns broadside. Roy has had time to consider his options. The fallow leaps to the heart shot and drops 20 yards behind. Even after that shot, another buck comes within range, and Roy asks Dom to take that unimpressive youngster.
It's a very bittersweet emotion at the moment because he's an old boy we've encountered, and you feel like you've known him for many years. So.
Hello, old man.
But unfortunately, that is what deer management is about. You've got to manage the herd, and you've got to take the right animals out at the right time. So that was his right time.
A closer look confirms that Roy has made the right decision.
Oh, mate. Oh. What a shame. Well, you can see he's a very, very thick old boy. But, I mean, he's never had the greatest of heads, but we've always had a bit of fun together, and his palms are definitely shrinking back. And he's very, very old and gnarly. But, as I say, it really is a shame when you've got to take a buck that you've known for so many years, but as I said before, unfortunately, it is part of the process. So, although it is a real shame to know it's going to be the last time we ever see him on the rutting stand, it's probably the best thing for him because, if we do get a hard winter, then as they are getting older, they do struggle to cope with it. So, So with the second animal we shot this morning, we were only going to take one off the rutting stand. We were either going to take a young buck or the old boy, but just after I took the shot on the old boy, this young lad came up. Although dealing with wild herds, you can't be as selective as you can when you're looking at park animals. Yeah, that really isn't the sort of head you want to pass on. So we know we've got another couple of younger 3-4 year old animals with much better heads than this, so we'll hopefully let them come through, and fingers crossed they'll start to come back in on the rutting stands, and in another 5 or 6 years time then we might have a look at them. Actually, it has been a very odd morning, because when the old boy first came in, I was sitting watching him, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, it probably is time, but then I didn't want to take the shot. And then as he walked off, you're thinking to yourself, okay, time is of the essence, and if we're going to do it, then this will probably be the year to do it. He did look stunning though. But there we go. All right, let's get these sorted.
Breaking from tradition, Roy has been using a new rifle this morning. He has a ticker on test in 2506 that we're going to do some reloading with. This was its first outing in the field.
We were using standard federal ammunition in it this morning, but we're going to be doing some reloading, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that little rifle performs. As a stalking rifle, it has been absolutely superb. It's nice and light. It's got one of the new Stalin mods on it, and getting through here, it's been really superb. It's got a 20-inch barrel on it, and so it was quite nice. not having that extra length. Not that I've ever been blessed with extra length, but it's been quite nice not having a long one that bashes around and hits the bushes too much.
People love watching and appreciating deer. It's a shame that many don't understand that those who choose to take on the responsibility of managing them love deer too. Right back from under a duvet in Sweden, more of that in coming weeks. It's David with the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. Forest officials in India have shot and killed the Sugarcane Tigress, which preyed on people in the sugarcane fields. The 6-year-old animal killed 2 people and injured 4 in the Ramnagar area in the north of the country. After a 40-day hunt, including drones, helicopters and 150 trackers, it was snapped by a camera trap. Shooters approached it on 3 elephants and shot it 3 times. Hundreds of villagers paraded the carcass and only stopped after the intervention of the Forest Department. However, there is another man-eater on the loose 800 miles away in Chandrapur, which has killed a woman and injured 3 other people. There's a debate on grouse shooting on the 31st of October this year, but there's no vote by MPs. A DEFRA subcommittee last week heard evidence from an anti-grouse shooter, Dr. Mark Avery, and pro-shooter Amanda Walker from the Moorland Association, among others. The debate in Westminster Hall follows an online petition backed by the BBC to ban grouse shooting. Meanwhile, the government has rejected a call by BBC presenter Chris Packham to ban woodcock, snipe and golden plover shooting. An auntie has been fined by magistrates after he admitted disturbing grouse shooting on the Bingley and Moreton Moor. Luke Steele, who's 25, pleaded guilty to a charge of obstructing people engaging in a lawful activity by trespassing on land used by the Bingley Moor Partnership grouse shoot when he appeared at Bradford and Keighley Magistrates Court. He was fined £70 in order to pay £85 costs and a £20 surcharge. Shotguns are top of the political agenda in Australia. The 7-shot Adler underlever has divided Australian politicians. It is currently banned, but some states with a feral hog problem want it reclassified. Meanwhile, there are calls to ban a semi-auto by another Turkish manufacturer, ATA, after 3 shooters reported it exploding and one suffering a serious head injury. Maidenhead Council in the UK wants to concrete over a small bore shooting club. Maidenhead Target Shooting Club is 110 years old. Happily, there's still time to stop the council. Visit bit.ly/Maidenhead Shooting to sign the petition. Thanks to Ian Farthing for sending in the story. Are you a shooter or stalker who wants to learn about lardering? The National Gamekeepers Association's meat hygiene courses are underway. Supported by Browning, the NGO Deer Branch is offering a course in Northern Ireland on Sunday the 30th of October and one in Gloucestershire on Wednesday the 16th of November. Go to nationalgamekeepers.org.uk. And finally, the Finns have come up with a good way of getting a moose out of rough terrain. They are calling it the moose tube. Simple, insert moose in tube, drag tube downhill. Moose arrives fresh and untroubled by its journey. You are up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Now it's competition prize time. A few weeks ago we offered a Harkila Slim Pack, that's the rucksack that Tim Pilbeam uses in his rucksack and rifle series. As a prize it's worth more than £100, euros and dollars. And a week or 2 after that we offered a shot cam, that's the camera that goes underneath the rifle or shotgun barrel. We use them all the time and that's priced at $695 US. Well, we got more than 1,000 entrants to those 2 competitions. So these are the Slim Pack entrants. I've put you into an amusing spreadsheet on my phone and I'm going to scroll up and down and choose a winner by clicking on one of your entry forms at random, and the winner is Joel C. Joel C, you entered on YouTube and we'll be in touch with you and we'll send a Slim Pack out to you. Now the shot cam prize, the big one. Here are all your entrants and we'll scroll down and we'll scroll up and down and up and click on the screen, and the winner of the shot cam is Wayne Lewis, great show as always. Shot cam, says Wayne Lewis, who entered on YouTube. Well, Wayne, one of those is going out to you. Now, shy sika get bold and brassy. They have the magic and mystery of roe deer, the majesty of reds, and here on Dorset's famous Jurassic coast, there are masses of them. In the 1900s, King Edward VII presented a pair of sika deer to Lord Montague of Beaulieu. This pair escaped into the New Forest, and that's where the Purbeck population comes from. They are here in such numbers that local farmers regularly call for a bigger cull. That's where people like Keith Emery steps in. A Purbeck resident, he manages several thousand acres locally. He shoots them, he feeds them, and he films them. He loves his deer. Just behind his house is a block of woodland and heathland with dense cover that sika need. He sees the hinds regularly from his kitchen window. At this time of year he sees and films the stags too as they come out for the rut, including this huge fellow.
No, I've most probably seen 3 like that in the last 40 years through this part of the valley. There was one killed about 2 miles away which made a really heavy stag, and I killed one here, gold medalist, which weighed 174 pounds dressed out, and now this one's appeared again, so it's obviously carried on the strain through the rut. You know, the stags it's just got a few which are really extra big.
It's the size of his neck and his body that impresses, but that also makes him a larger target for one of the biggest deer killers, traffic. The ditches alongside Dorset's main roads here are littered with decomposing deer.
It's very unfortunate that we have got a fast road here, 2 fast roads in between these deer. We got the farmers planting maize, so the actual resident deer here do make their way across the road to feed on the maize, because there's only a little bit of scrub grass here, and there's not much food from, so they unfortunately get knocked over, So there was a good 7-pointer out here serving the hinds, and he got knocked over a week or so ago.
Keith has been watching a stag for about 3 years that looks like it was hit by a car and survived.
He tries to mount the hinds. We've watched him trying to mount the hinds last weekend, and he's not very successful. He's struggling. Actually, he needs to be taken out, because we've got about 3 or 4 good stags here can look after these quite a few hinds, Most probably when he did have his accident, he's most probably ruined his testicles, and therefore his antlers don't grow equal, He's not a threat at all, he's just aggravating the hinds because he can't actually mount them. He's just a nuisance, really.
Now we have a special guest appearance today. Jamie Chandler, the shooter with no hands, learned how to deer stalk recently on a dry run with Devon Stalking's Carl Harrison. Now he wants to put his new skill into practice, so Keith has asked him along to try for a sika pricket.
Seeker and ye shall find, I think is the expression I would use.
Ah, philosophical. We head out into one of the main rutting areas on the other side of the woodland from Keith's house. We set up and we wait. Keith has seen a lot of deer here in recent weeks, and here are some of them. To begin with, however, we just see a few hinds, even with Keith calling them. We wait and wait until darkness falls.
Really doesn't seem too much of a rut.
Not so fast, hombre. While Keith has been this side of the wood, his missus has been busy with the camera on the other side, and look what she filmed. It looks like the rut is well underway, just nowhere near us. Keith always takes his camera with him and has recorded some extraordinary examples of nature here in Dorset. This is a stoat trying to drag off more than it can chew. He has also captured some great footage of calling deer.
I sent away to America for an elk whistle. It's quite successful, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can call them and they'll come crashing through the woods in front of you, and other times if you see a stag up on the hill, you can call him and he'll actually look round and run away. What I've noticed is sort of 2 causes: a real loud whistle and a real roar. You get a very loud beep on an alarm call generally come from the hinds.
This pricket comes into just a few yards.
We hid in the bushes, and he was so inquisitive. He'd come from 200 yards away. He must have smelt us or seen us, I don't know, but we was quite still. He come right up within 10 yards, and I had a client just to take him out, you know.
Sika deer are an incredible species, what's called a ring species, with our own native red deer and with North American wapiti. They're all different species in a ring around the world, and they can all interbreed. Native to Asia, it turns out that South Dorset is everything they want in a home, and they are here to stay.
It's just, they are on the increase, I would imagine. No, I think the stalkers can cope with it.
We'll be putting up some of the background to this story on the Browning Hunting blog. Click on the link on the screen to have a look at it. Now to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Viewer Robin Foxer from the UK films his first ever duck flight in this video, plus he has merch to win. 5 of them shoot a pond and end up with mallard and teal. Another viewer with a film out is Ryan from the Cymru Hunters channel. He is decoying pesky pigeons on wheat stubble with Welsh pigeon guide Nick Richards from BritishShootingServices.com. Ever wondered how they go duck hunting in Turkey? Mehmet Ali Koksal narrates this film in Turkish, but you get the idea. There are duck and the landscape looks spectacular. Plus, he is using an unusual semi-auto, an Albatross ALR19. Sounds a bit Monty Python to me. A lot of wildlife and hardly any Swedish in this film about driven fallow hunting in Sweden from Jakt Faber. It is a half-hour film. These last few weeks, gunmaker Browning has been uploading films showing its Maral rifle in the hands of Alberto Rizzini after roe, red, wild boar, mouflon and moose. This is the full movie featuring Alberto and his Maral. Now, there has been a little explosion of non-core hunting channels making hunting films in the USA in the last week. This one is about what you might run into when walking around in Texas. Lunkers TV went out looking for boars and came back with a rattlesnake. AP Bassing's Alex Perrick is a celebrity kid bass angler from the USA. With his pal Sammy, he gives his take on white-tailed deer hunting. It's more KSI, less Mr. Crabtree, but I like his style. And finally, an off-the-grid channel called Gridlessness, that's borderline prepping, goes on a sheep hunt in Confessions of a Sheep Hunter, but doesn't get one and spends 13 minutes and 45 seconds not getting one. It's a genre movie, the genre being YouTuber, but you have to ask if it works when, for example, going off the grid means pointing out the grid you have gone off. For me, the YouTuber Does Hunting film includes some hunting. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. I hope you like all of those. And we have our own film to tell you about that's come out in the last few days. It's NRA TV. Pistol shooting is back. The GB pistol team has a new range at Bisley that's as secure as a fortress and won't let those naughty pistols out into the hands of the public. Plus, historic and classic firearms enthusiasts all get together for the Trafalgar meeting.
A cornucopia of bits and pieces.
Well, we are back next week. If you haven't done so already, please go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, or pop your email address into our register page, the email form there, and we'll be in touch about this show, Field Sports Britain, which is at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday, and all our other shows. And this has been Field Sports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.